Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is John Van Lunen, and you are listening to Treasures of the Outer Banks, episode 24. In this episode, I spoke with Juan Ramirez of First Flight High School. He is the head boys soccer coach, and he also teaches at First Flight. And we really discussed the community and the excitement of soccer on the Outer Banks. If you are unaware, First Flight High School competes extremely well. For being such a small area with a small population, we compete very well in the state playoffs year in and year out. He has taken his team to the state championship game multiple times, winning once. This season he lost in the semis, lost to a good Jacksonville High School team, but his team was very talented and poised to go all the way to the state championship again. It came very close. We speak about the youth. We speak about the youth soccer. We speak about some of the different programs and teams that are out there, what's going well, and what he'd like to see in the future. So if you are a soccer person that's planning on visiting the Outer Banks, maybe in the summertime, there may be opportunities for you to come in and jump on a field and play some pickup soccer, or maybe you bring your kids along and have them work out with a team that's here currently. And we talk about some of those in my show notes. I share some of the local programs that you could maybe drop in on. Obviously, First Flight High School is one of them. Storm Soccer and OBISA. OBISA stands for Outer Banks Youth Soccer Association. They are two local rec travel teams that we have. The YMCA offers soccer for the younger kids for the most part. And Parks and Rec, Dare County Parks and Recreation, does a great job in our county, and they kind of manage the fields, and they do have some of their very recreational level soccer programs going on, or maybe they have some camps they could direct you to in the summertime, and they may know some of the pickup teams that are out there using their fields, so they may be able to direct you. Like I said, all those links will be posted in the show notes. But first, let's sit down with Juan Ramirez and talk about soccer. So I'm at First Flight High School. It's a soccer game. It's night. Weather's pretty nice. It's the fall. You're in the playoffs. And the crowd is frankly amazing. There's people everywhere. They're along the fence. They got noisemakers. I mean, they're hooting and hollering. And it just, I kind of knew this before, but it just reinforced what I already knew, and that was soccer is really big on this beach, and it's popular, and people love it. And it's the community, I think, is really into it. So how do you fit into that whole scheme?
Well, I think it's just promoting the game. Since I came here in 2003, I mean, connected with a lot of people that play soccer. More and more through the evolution of more people moving into the area. The kids playing soccer, people have played in college, the World Cup, more premier games, being more televised, different cultures coming into the area. It's a passion, and I think it's translated into a community. And our school doing so well for so many years, the kids really, learn to realize that their classmates also have some skills, and they can really have some fun showing what they can do in the field. So and it becomes kind of a family event where everybody just gathers there and see everybody as a community. You talk about soccer all the time, especially during the season, and it's fun. It's fun to see it. We promote it. We invite everybody.
Yeah.
So it's I wish we could have a bigger place to hold more people. So
This is true. And I'm digressing quite a bit, but what you do with one field is amazing. I mean, and I want everybody to know that is the practice and game field for boys and girls.
And JV boys. So for 3 teams.
Yep. So that's a lot of pounding. You guys keep it together. Somehow you hold the whole thing together, and it looks great. But I would agree. I really wish you guys had a better venue one that you could really shine in, with maybe some bigger stands, better locker rooms or whatever, because you guys have definitely earned it. The youth soccer in this area is amazing. I mean, there's kids everywhere playing youth soccer. Do you communicate with those coaches at all? Do you have relationships with those guys that run that stuff, or what?
No, it's we had never really be able to communicate. Running back in the day when I was running two teams, actually three teams: the JV boys, varsity boys, and the girls program. Didn't leave any time for doing anything else besides just coaching the high school team. We had talked about it before, but you have the Storm organization, you have OVISA, and then you have Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
So there's three organizations, and they have their own entity, their own identity. I think they're doing a phenomenal job, all those three identities. So why do I go over there and mess it up? So no, I'm kidding. I think they see the passion that we bring to the high school teams.
Right.
They see what the different styles that we show to play the game, and I think that's translating a lot to all the organizations trying to not mimic, but I try to mirror what we do. They have some great coaches, all those three organizations. So I think they're doing a great job.
Right. What do you think? What is the image of First Flight Soccer off the beach, or just the soccer culture here off the beach? If I lived in Norfolk, or if I lived in Raleigh, or somewhere else, do I know about the soccer culture here, or am I impressed by it, or what do you think they think?
In regards to the coaching level, I speak with a lot of coaches, not so much with their communities, but the coaches, and they always are amazed of how even when we were in 2A, we were so strong. I mean, every year we were competing, at the highest level. We always made it to, past the third round in the state playoffs, or we made it to the championship. I mean, we have been 5 or 6 times to the state title game.
Yeah, that's great.
And thanks. And with the boys, with the girls, we have been there 3 times, won it twice. So they all know who First Fly is now.
Yeah.
What the actual people besides the coaches think about us,
Yeah, that's not really what I was.
Yeah. So the coaches, they just phenomenal. They just think that in a community that is so far away from everywhere.
Yep.
Not really that big. We don't have that many facilities to promote the game as say, for instance, if you live in Durham or a Triangle area.
Yeah.
They have so many different clubs. They have so many fields to use, so many facilities compared to us, and we still are very competitive compared to them. They love it. They hate playing against First Flight because they know we're coming to take it to them. We're gonna play a good game. We got great sportsmanship. I mean, and the boys and the girls, they know the system that we play is a very successful system. And in Virginia, they hate playing us. Some teams don't even play us anymore because they know that it's going to be a tough battle for them. And unfortunately, rankings are based on your winnings and losses. So
right.
win and losses. So they don't want to take a chance to lose against us. So
right.
So
I have a theory, and I believe this for lacrosse because I coach lacrosse here, and that is, there's something to be said about you start with a group of kids, and for the most part, they all just kind of go straight up. Whereas if you're in a metropolitan area, you have multiple middle schools, and they might be scattered to go to different. You lose these kids. I think there's something to be said about keeping that group of kids together, and they're just constantly just going straight up the ladder instead of losing people left and right. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah, and some of that happens to us. The difference is, and a lot of people, and you can understand this as well, coaching high school, you have 4 different age groups. So it's not as easy as you having all these kids all playing the same group, because they all seniors are not the same. They don't play with the same group as the freshmen and so on and so forth. So you got to be able to mix these kids and be able to have the correct personalities. Some of them play for different clubs. So right now we have people playing for Rush, people playing for BGFC,
right.
People playing for Storm, people playing in other leagues. They go to either Raleigh. So you got to mesh all these kids together to be able to play. So we all don't have that group coming.
Right.
Okay.
And for the listeners, just dropping in and may not be familiar with the area here, is what Juan is saying is that there are other travel teams in Raleigh and in Virginia, and these kids, they're not all playing on the same travel team. They might be playing on
Correct.
multiple travel teams.
Correct.
So they might be spreading out all over the place.
Correct. And and the good thing, referring to what you're saying about you're always going to have a group, let's say, for instance, a freshman and maybe sophomores, 2 age groups that they might play together a couple seasons, which that helps a lot.
Right.
And that creates the familiarity of how they play together, the team bonding, all those things that it makes a good team. I mean, if you don't have that team bonding or that group where players know how to play with the other players, that cohesiveness is not going to be there.
Right.
So we're fortunate that a lot of them do play together, but because they love the game and they love the responsibility and they love the desire that we have as coaches, as make sure we're still having fun and being successful on and off the field, that translates to the kids and how well they do. So,
right.
So
backing up, was soccer what brought you to the Outer Banks?
When I came to the United States, from Colombia, South America, I was a young teenager, 16 years old. I came to go to college. Ended up playing at, back then the school was called Atlantic Christian College. Now it's called Barton College in Wilson, North Carolina.
Right.
So I played 4 years there. And then we moved to Pennsylvania. But during the summer times, I used to come here to Outer Banks and work. For some of you might remember the name Papagayos restaurant and painting houses.
You say that so well.
And and work painting houses when I was not working the restaurant. So, that was when I think we had one traffic light, and I was at the Ben Franklin store. Or
that was it, huh?
That was it. I think it was a traffic light. That was it. And and it was different times, and I remember. I think the only place that we had some kind of grass to kind of kick the ball around was by the fire department in KDH.
Behind there?
Back there, yeah.
Yep.
That's when it used to be the old rescue house.
Was there?
Yeah, it was like the main office. It had a little office there, and then behind that there were some soccer fields. And were you guys kind of the oddity, kicking a soccer ball around? I think it was only like when I would go over there. I think I tried to go like every Wednesday night. Back then, and we didn't have any lights, so we had to be there early. If we weren't working,
right.
I just kicked the ball around. I mean, it wasn't like organized, anything like that. Just kind of, and I had to, follow up with my training for college, so I had to do some exercise and stuff like that and run. But it was, no one. I mean, I didn't know anybody really.
Yeah.
I guess Manu High School had the soccer team, but I didn't know anybody from Manu High School because I didn't live here.
Right.
I just came here in summertime. But then when we moved here back in 2003, you could see, a lot of Obaisa and Parks and Rec, and then I learned about Storm, and my kids got involved with Parks and Rec and Obaisa and Storm. That's how it evolved. But soccer is a sport where anybody can play.
Right.
It's the beauty of that sport. And it's not that expensive.
Right.
Or wasn't that expensive. Now shoes are like $350.
Right.
It's crazy. But it's a sport that everybody can play, so it's.
And so did you come right in and start coaching, or was it you just kind of worked your way in with the little kids, your own kids?
Well, I was helping out. Steve Smalley was the head coach here at
That's
First
right.
Fight.
Yeah.
So I became his assistant, and then I took over the program. And but my kids were playing Storm, and then my middle daughter decided she really wanted to play soccer. She didn't do well in lacrosse. She's like, "Why you give me a stick when I cannot hit anybody with a stick?" And I said, "Well, lacrosse is not for you." So she decided to focus more on soccer, and
Right.
that's how I got so involved into it. So
Excellent. Where have you seen the greatest growth of soccer on the Outer Banks?
I think everywhere.
Right.
I think everywhere. I mean, you see them when I have my free open workouts in the summertime. We invite people. I have, people come on vacation. They see us training. They ask me if they can join the training, and I say, hey, sure. I check with my ID, make sure that they have all the stuff that they can do, and they join our training in the summertime.
How many people are showing up for that?
Oh, every year I get like 3 or 4 people sometimes. They come.
But totally, it's like 30 kids showing up, or
for my open workouts. Local kids, it goes between 30 and 35 every day.
That's still really good.
Yeah, and again, it's free of charge. I mean, we do it 3 times a week. I do it for the love of the game. The kids love it. I mean, if I have any kids that they want to show up and train,
yeah,
and I'm available, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
I mean, if they love it that much that they have that love, that passion to train, and it is their decision to train.
Yeah.
I got to give it to them.
Yeah,
so.
come on out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, the growth, I think, is just more and more people are being exposed to it.
Sure.
And they see it, and the kids see it. They see how much fun it is. People think that soccer is all about running. Yeah, you do some, but it's not like being a track runner or a long distance runner or anything like that. It has changed. The training has changed. The way the games play has also changed.
Right.
But no, I mean, it's awesome to see how many kids
That is amazing.
that we have. I mean, just the land is so expensive here that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't.
And it is, especially at the youth level, it is everywhere. I mean, they're using every square inch of the fields behind the middle school, every square inch of the Nags Head fields. They're using the parks and rec fields. I mean, there's soccer everywhere. So.
Yes, and and again, it's the easiness to play. I mean, you can play at any level. You don't have to be like superstar. You can have fun. It doesn't have to be crazy about winning until you get to varsity level at high school, where you have to
Juan's
win
rule.
all the time.
That's Juan's rule.
Well, if you don't win, you don't make it to the playoffs. You don't make it to the playoffs. You don't go anywhere. It's the kids love it.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you don't have to be good at any sport if you just want to go on and try it and have fun, and the kids love it. They have groups and they love it. I mean, they get to see their friends.
Yeah. What would you like to see get better in the soccer community out here, whether it's your teams or the youth teams or the girls teams or whatever?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
We kind of talked about fields. I mean,
well, the fields is tough because of course we need more fields, stuff like that. But again, it's just the land is so expensive.
yeah.
Where you're gonna find a place that you have. It takes, a good sized field. It takes 100 by 80 or 100 by 60 yards to be able to accommodate. That's just the playing area.
Yeah.
And then you have, so the equipment is not that cheap either. I mean, the main equipment, like the goals, stuff like that, the painting of the field, the maintaining of the field. But it's just the land. I mean, to be able to find to put 2 soccer fields, you need a lot of land. Look at Naxhead fields behind the bowling alley. That's a big size chunk of land.
Yeah.
You know.
Are you anti artificial turf?
No. I mean,
you're fine with it?
Oh yes, back many years ago. I can tell you how many years ago we tried to do that. We look at converting the stadium into an all-purpose field.
Right.
And back then, that's when Ray Scott was the athletic director. So that's how many years ago we're talking about. And it was going to cost us about $1.7 million, and that will be a multi-use.
Yep.
You know, which would be great. Flat, you know, it won't be so
crown.
Crown. So it would be great for all sports. The initial cost is expensive, but you know, and I wish we could do that.
Now, same here. I mean,
the AstroTurf is now so much better than when you and I were playing. I mean, you know, I blew my knee out playing AstroTurf.
Did you?
But it was like a regular house carpet.
Yeah,
you know,
it was bad.
It was bad, and you don't have any padding underneath.
Yeah.
So when you fell on concrete, basically.
Yeah, it's not great, but to be able to use that stadium field 5-6 days a week and not have to worry about it would be huge. You know?
Oh yeah.
Because it sits there idle. What, you know?
Yeah.
80% of the time. So it'd be nice.
Yeah, but so I mean that would be nice for us to be able to do that. Now I don't know how much it will cost to convert that now. I'm sure it will be probably more than $1.7 million.
Yeah, a little bit. I know somebody was looking into it, but I think they hit a brick wall. Well, they were looking into developing the Nags Head fields, but they hit a brick wall, unfortunately. What I see a lot of adults playing soccer on the beach, and frankly, a lot of Latinos, which I think is cool. You know, so they got their thing going on. Does this help promote the soccer in general for you? I mean, do you see their kids coming up the pipeline?
Well, I mean, with the Latin community, of course, soccer's in our blood.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of our heritage.
Mm-hmm.
So all the Latin kids, they are either exposed by watching soccer or they actually play soccer,
right.
And their parents will play soccer. We used to have a league back in the day.
Yeah.
And I used to play in the league. Now I don't play in any leagues. I'm too old for that.
Right.
But yeah, we play every Tuesday and Thursdays. And we will play games on Saturdays and Sundays.
Cool.
So we had, you know, it was competitive. We had different teams, and actually we play, and you know, and we play those. We had some games behind the middle school. We had some games behind the fire department in Kildare Hills,
right.
by the Foot Lion, the Bell Center there. So those were the only fields available. The high school was not available yet.
Right.
So, but we used to play there, and you know, it's always fun. And then the next fields were open at night, so we used to go and play.
Right.
And we will have a lot of people, even females. All the females were actually playing.
What do you think of the status of that? I know that league doesn't exist anymore, but are these adults? Are they just kind of ad hoc teams, just, you know, kind of pick up soccer games now?
Yeah, it's all pickup games. Now I haven't been involved with them.
Yeah.
For many years now,
Yeah.
because I stopped playing. I know if I show up, I want to play, and I won't be able to get up the next day. But I see them playing in front of the middle school sometimes.
I've seen them there too.
Schools
Yeah.
up there. I don't know if they still play at the Naxid fields or not.
I don't know.
Back in the day, we used to. It was at night. It was like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, every Tuesday and Thursday. We will have 2 games going on.
Is that right?
Yeah, we will have.
I will admit. So we used
people.
to do youth lacrosse down there,
Mm-hmm.
and let's say we'd be done at 7:30, and yeah, there's a bunch of guys getting ready to walk onto the fields and probably hang out for a couple hours in scrimmage. So
yeah, we'll play pickup games, you know, and that's another thing that lacrosse came on board, so that pushed that later, you know,
Right.
and that's just because there are no fields.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, back when Dowdy Park, remember it was Dowdy,
Yeah.
Ferris wheel,
carnival
the carnival area.
Yeah.
When that was cleaned up, we thought they were gonna make that a multi-purpose.
Is that right?
Yes, turf. And we were going, oh my. And it's a park and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, the park is great for the kids and everything in the community, and I think it's awesome. But a lot of us were hoping, we're going, oh man, that would be such a great
area.
place. It's a big area. It's right in the middle of everything.
Yep. It would have been very cool.
People can see it. People can come and watch. But
yeah,
that was different. But no, again, it's just the availability of space.
If somebody was here on vacation or just visiting, and they wanted to drop in and play, do you know who they might try to reach out to? Is there a Facebook page or anything like that they could find an adult pickup game?
I'm not certain about that.
Okay, just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I think probably Parks and Rec will be the place.
They might know.
They might know.
Yeah.
Check out with Parks and Rec.
Because technically, these people are supposed to have a field permit to get on those fields. So
yeah.
Technically.
I know that in the summertime, some college teams come down and they ask if they can use the fields. I don't know what administration does with that, but they use Parks and Rec. The field in front of Parks and Rec.
Right.
Some of the college teams have used that.
Okay.
Usually, it's one or two teams that come down in the summertime.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Has the success of First Flight Soccer, has it pushed or raised the bar with the other local schools?
I think so. There was one time back in the day we had those coaches meetings, and they, not to pat ourselves on the back, but a lot of them, they want to play like First Flight. Okay.
They want to?
They want to play like First Flight.
Oh, like First Flight.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're really impressed how we continue the success even after losing so many seniors every year. I mean, we lose between an average of 6 to 9 seniors every year.
Right.
So a lot of the coaches, they come as supporters during playoffs. And
Nice.
they love the way, yes, and they come from Edenton, they come from Pasquotang, they come,
Nice.
And they love it.
They respect what you've done, and they respect your
Yes.
team.
And
that says a lot.
And every single time that they score on us, or I tell the kids, I say, when they score on us or they beat us, that's a success, because
That made their season.
they are measuring their performance
Yep.
against us.
Yep.
So, and that's great, because it's good to know that you are pushing them to
Yep.
get better. Because
Yep.
if they don't get better, we don't get better.
Right.
When they start becoming better competition, and you can see it from the many years that I've been coaching here, how they have evolved to be better teams.
Right.
And they have something tough. I mean, like, we have a tremendous amount of kids that they're playing all the time. A lot of these other communities, they don't. I mean, they might struggle to even fill a team
Is that right?
during the school year. Yeah, it's tough for them. Or they have to go and ask players if they want to play that have never played soccer and they're in high school to be able to have a team.
Right.
So it's pretty neat when they recognize the success that First Flight has had, and they want to kind of emulate what we do.
Right.
So, yeah.
Do the coaches ever ask you for advice, or?
Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
I mean, we only see them once or twice a season.
Yeah.
So it's kind of difficult to have an interaction. I mean, we're not that close. Like a lot of coaches, they say, "Wow, you guys got to travel." I say, "Yeah, the closest school is Manu, and that's 30 minutes by bus." It goes, especially in Virginia, they go, "Oh man, we can 20 minutes. We're playing soccer already after school." I'm like, "Oh no, we have to." I mean, just to go and see them, it's at least an hour and a half to get up there in one direction. And they just amazed that we had to travel so far. And I have coaches and teams that they want to play us from Raleigh, from down in Fayetteville and stuff like that. And I'm going, I'm not going to put the kids during school week days 5 hours to go and play a game. I mean,
yeah, I was going to say when we were discussing about, areas of growth or whatever, or what would you like to see get better, wouldn't it be kind of cool to attract some really high-level teams to come out here and play? I mean, obviously they might have to be private school because, they're probably going to have to pay their own way and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, that'd be kind of cool if they wanted to come out here and play you.
What is difficult, especially with the boys season, during the summertime, which is our bread and butter for the Outer Banks. I mean, in regards to the kids playing, a lot of the kids are working.
Yep.
Especially the juniors and seniors are working. And even now, the younger ones still are working as well.
Right.
So we try. It was one of the hurricanes that we had. We had it all set up. It was called the Outer Banks. Outer Banks. I can't remember. It's been that many years. But anyway, we had set up. We had a round robin. We had about 12 teams coming over here, and that included Manion High School, Hatteras, as Curry Talk, teams from Virginia, the area,
right.
Norfolk Academy, Collegiate, Nassau Suffolk. Who's the other one that we're going to come? It's another team from Virginia. We had D.H. Connolly. We had teams from Greenville. We had teams from Raleigh. They were going to come over here.
Nice.
And we had, people, although tourism was very big back then, it wasn't as crazy as it is now, where
right?
you cannot find. So we have families that they were donated the beach houses for accommodate teams and so on and so forth. So we could allocate,
right.
and have accommodations for all these teams. Now, for us to have something like that, it would be very difficult because it's so expensive, first of all.
Yep.
And most of the houses are rented,
right.
Vacation rentals. And
yep.
that's tough to find.
Yep. Rental houses are going deeper into the fall. You're a fall sport,
Yes.
It's just difficult.
Now, and more, there are other tournaments that are around, like in Swansboro. But, for us to go for one game all the way down there to come back that same game in the summertime, that's tough. So what we do is we go to a team camp in the summertime where we get a lot of exposure and competition to get us prepared for the season. So, we try to rotate different camps every year, team camps.
Right.
And it helps us with not only how we're going to play, but is also the team bonding for the players. It helps us with the formation, with the tactics, with everything else. And also exposes those kids that they want to play at the next level, to meet some coaches and to see some of the college players that are at those facilities, how they play and what they have to get done in order to be able to succeed at the next level. So that's one of the things that we do. But it's difficult. That time of year for us is very difficult to be able to host teams over here. A lot of teams in late August is when we get to play some of the Virginia teams because they don't have any conference games.
Is that right?
Our games are usually Mondays and Wednesdays for our conference. Theirs are Tuesdays and Thursdays. So it kind of has a big conflict because when they have a game, we don't have a game. When we have a game, they don't have a game. So we can't do it. And sometimes, Friday nights will be the only time. So we're trying to work on that and see if we can do it. But in Saturdays it's difficult because a lot of people are working. A lot of the kids are working, and that's when they're making their money in the fall. Late summer, early fall.
Yeah.
So
even as a lacrosse coach down here, I get people scratching their heads as if you guys aren't doing a bunch of stuff in the summer. I said, we can't. These kids are too busy. The coaches are too busy making money. Everybody's just too busy. So everybody just kind of puts it down until school starts again.
Oh yeah, it's like for us to be able to go to team camp right now in January is when I already made the decision. I already get them the schedule. That way they know 7 months in advance
Right.
that those days got to be open.
Right.
Don't take any home vacations. Don't go anywhere.
Right.
We're going as a team. And now with the girls was easier because Wilson has a great tournament, a college showcase. It's called the Brittany.
Okay.
And every year we travel over there, and we have 2 games against other high schools, 2 teams. But again, it's away from here. It's not in here.
Yeah.
And it's not easy because of the tourism.
Yep.
It's hard to find available houses to host teams. And you're talking about between 16 to 22 players, so, plus coaches.
Yeah.
So you need a big facility, a big house.
Yep.
So.
What would you say to someone, like a parent, who has just moved or is thinking about moving to the Outer Banks and has soccer kids? How would you describe the soccer culture here? What advice would you give them? Yeah.
Well, it's funny you ask that because it happens to us more often than anybody thinks. Just about every year I get 1 or 2 transfers.
Yeah.
From more areas, and basically, I tell them we receive them with open arms. I explain to them what my philosophy is if they want to play soccer at high school level. If they are younger, I connect them with the local either Storm or Parks and Rec or vice. That way they get to familiarize, they get to meet people.
Right.
But most of the times, if they are of age, they can come in the summertime to my open workouts. That way they get to meet kids. We can see what skill level they have.
Right.
Because sometimes they think, the Outer Banks, they might not have.
How competitive can they be?
Yeah. And they come in and like, oh, God.
Right.
Wow. You guys are, so. But, we receive them open arms. I mean, it's soccer. We're doing it because we love the soccer game or the game of soccer. And so anybody who moves down here and wants to play soccer, we'll try to help them out the best we can.
Yeah. And how, on that note, how serious do you think the training is here compared to, let's say, the suburbs of D.C. or something like that? I mean, obviously you're producing good soccer players here. Are the kids more serious here? Are they getting better training or the same? I mean, how would you compare it?
Well, I think I can put my training against anybody.
Yeah.
That I give out. I'm serious about our training. I tell them, I train to be the best that we can be. I don't train just to train.
Yeah.
So the kids know that when they come with me to train, is 2 hours of training, not 2 hours of goofing off.
Yeah, it's not 2 hours of just playing.
No. It's we have a schedule. We follow the schedule of the organized training. We try to alternate with weightlifting to try to get them ready. We're very serious about it.
Yeah.
Even at the JV level. I always think about it, and my parents always raised me as, you're gonna do something, you do it right.
Right.
Otherwise, don't even get involved in it.
Right.
So I mean, but our training, I think, my experience of what we produce and the level of the performance that the school has had, I think our training, I can put that training against anybody.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And I think my observation has been with the athletes down here, especially like soccer, lacrosse, basketball, and maybe even baseball, I guess, is you kind of have to be serious because you're going to play on a travel team, and it's probably going to be up in Virginia or something. You're going to have to travel. You're going to have to really travel. Just to get the practice. Our kids have to go to Virginia. They have to drive an hour and a half just to get the practice.
Correct.
And then they go travel for tournaments. So you got to be pretty serious. So you're probably seeing a lot of that.
Yes, and I speak for personal experience with my own kid. She played for 3 teams, and we travel every weekend to different tournaments because she was a guest player for all different 3 teams. One from Jersey, one from DC, and one from over here in Virginia. And every team had a tournament and we were out every weekend, and she had to train. She had to go on, she couldn't go to Jersey for training, of course, but she would go to Virginia, like you're saying, hour and a half driving up there, go practice, an hour and a half driving back, and then school. And that's one thing that they know how serious I am in regards to everything else, because I tell them, I say, you are a student and then an athlete.
Right.
You gotta, if you want to be good at something, you gotta be good at both of them, especially when you have to organize your schedule. You gotta be so serious about it. And and the kids are. I mean, I don't speak for any other sport, but besides soccer. But the kids know that they gotta be engaged 100%. Otherwise, we're wasting time.
You get out what you put in, right?
Correct.
Kind of wrapping this up. Any special projects coming up in the future? Anything you'd like to promote? Do you have a camp or a workouts you want to promote, or?
Well, I'm kind of restricted with the camps. Again, I do open workouts in the summertime for free.
If somebody, let's say somebody's listening to this and they're bringing their family down this summer, how would they get in touch with you to find out when the workouts are?
Oh, they can call school.
Okay.
That will probably be the easiest. Just call First High School.
Okay.
And ask, if they have, I would say 99% of the time, they have information when my open workouts are. They can contact the school.
And what could they expect if they drop their kids off for a workout? What could they expect?
Well, if they are of age, I'm talking about high school or rising freshmen.
Right.
They're the only ones I can work out with.
Right.
Basically, we train for 2 hours. Just have the right information. Make sure they have an insurance card.
Right. Can't just walk on the field. We got to make sure all the
documentation is correct, and that there is a guardian, that somebody. We got to check with administration, make sure they're okay. But I'll say 99% of the time is no problem.
Right.
I'll treat them like they're one of my players. So.
You'll yell at them just as much as anybody else. What's your name again? Is there anything going on with younger kids, the youth soccer? Do you know of?
Well, Storm has their teams, and in the spring you have Obaisa.
Yeah.
They have a little, but there's a younger group. Obaisa.
Smalley runs some camps a little bit. Coach Smalley.
Yeah, he runs the summertime. He runs camp, but I think his has become more not just soccer, has become like a all-around sport.
Kind of thing,
multi-sport thing with Parks and Rec.
Right.
I think that's what it is.
So somebody could contact Parks and Rec to see if there's any youth soccer things going on.
Camp, yeah. And if they want personal training or anything like that, I mean, they can get in touch with one of us or here at school, and we can find somebody if we don't have the time to do a personal training. Usually my workouts are in the mornings. That way it won't be so hot. Plus, most of the kids are working in the evenings in the restaurants. Usually are from 8 to 10 in the morning, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We're gonna see if this year we're gonna switch it to maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at the high school soccer field.
Gotcha.
That's the thing. And we get involved for 2 hours. I mean,
nice.
We go at it.
Drills, skills,
weights, drills, skills, everything, games.
Yeah.
Everything that we can offer.
Excellent.
To make sure that they enjoy it and get something out of it. So.
Excellent. Anything else?
No, I appreciate it. Just come and support soccer, and any donations that you can give us,
There you go.
We'll
start chipping away for that artificial turf soccer field.
It's gonna be a lot of donations, man. we all had to, us coaches, we had to create something.
That's right.
Because it's got to be probably 2 point some million.
I think it might be 2.5. I don't know.
2.5.
Might be. I don't know. But
we need to find a big donor here in the Outer Banks.
Right. We're gonna have to hint, wink, wink. Well, Juan, it was definitely great. You're definitely a treasure. What you and everybody else is doing to promote soccer here, and this is coming from a guy who never played soccer, and is just a very lukewarm soccer fan. But when I go out and watch First Flight Boys high school soccer play, it's amazing. The guys are really good. You can tell they're well coached. They're very disciplined on the field. It's really good soccer to watch, I got to tell you. And I hope you keep it up. I wish you the best success, and I appreciate you sitting down with me today.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it. Keep up with the good work in lacrosse, too.
I appreciate that. You have a good one.
You too, thanks.